Good with y'all, family. I'm gonna bring you back with a good ass download today. We're gonna talk about more so of the shadow. You are the shadow, y'all. That's why you can control the shadow like realm, or the realm that can't be seen nor studied, but felt and known by the creator of all, y'all, you. Because that's your power. You just gotta walk into it, family. Somebody who's barely starting their journey or haven't walked the path of faith yet, well, you don't have access to this, y'all, nor do you believe in it because it hasn't been told to you, it hasn't been shown to you, or you haven't seen it in real life timing. But you can do supernatural things, yo, that defy the laws of physics or anything that you want to say that is scientific, yo. For the fact that your cells are vibrating with your atoms. So that just shows you that your body, even though it appears fleshly, yo, it's never really still or just, something that doesn't move freely, yo. You know, if that's not the case, yo, think about it like this. People say that they're flesh, so their body looks at as if it's not moving from the inside, right? But that can't be because how is it when you consume something, yo, your body has the ability to break it down, you know? If that wasn't the case, yo, everything you would consume would add on, and you would, gain so much weight, family. But that's not the case with you, yo. That's because that sun within you, yo, it heats it or it disintegrates it, and that's when you go to the restroom, family. You know. But I get on this download because it's a really important download, yo. You need to be able to master the shadows because that's your shadow self, yo, aka self-mastery, yo. A lot of people talk about self-mastery or they want to be a person who has mastered them. But you don't gotta say nothing, yo. All you gotta do is be. All you gotta do is remind yourself that in a world like this, yo, it's important to shine because nobody else is gonna shine light like you. A lot of people ain't aware of this knowledge, yo. And even if they was told this, they gonna walk the other way because everybody wants the easy way out, yo. Nowadays, yo, a challenge just looks like or deemed as something that's evil, yo. Unless it's something that challenges their ego, yo, then they gonna wanna do it. I'm not telling you to remove the ego or drop it. You might need it to go around people or to put up a facade around certain programs, yo. That's understandable. I'm telling you to be at peace with your higher self and your ego, yo, because yes, you gonna live through the ego at times, but when you go up in higher frequencies, yo, and you reach your true self, and when you drop back down, yo, you will realize that nothing around me fucking matters because I found a way to get into heaven, yo. I found that unlimited peace, you know. You can't give that to nobody, yo. But what you can do is you can simply enter the kingdom of heaven by yourself, and the ones that like being around your energy or presence, yo, they feel that. That's why they live being around you, yo. Or people just can't put a word on you because it's not that they don't like you or that they do like you, but your energy is so fucking gravitational, yo, that it pulls them because in a way you're feeding them, but you're feeding their spirit as well, yo, because if they're a darkened spirit, yo, they may need or be in search of light, yo, and you're their ticket. I'm not telling you to give them your energy. I'm telling you to be an example of what the fuck people should be doing, yo. You know, everybody lives in death, yo. I always tell y'all that because this world is against us all. They're especially against the ones that are aware like myself, yo. You know, they would love to kill the motherfucker like you or just try to lock you up and make sure you never see the day of time again. For the ones who actually are aware, not only move like this, but speak it and give it to the world, yo, because we are the foundation for this new world, yo. You know, everybody's waking up because of these videos that myself and reflections of me are giving out, yo. Because it's not about the physical, it's about a universal code, which is vibration. Once you understand that, yo, you don't look at people no more on the fleshly side of this world, y'all. You judge them off of energy, or not judge, but you view them, and you see how others react about themselves, yo. There's a lot of people that if you tell them something, they're gonna try to prove you wrong, or they're gonna try to argue for hours, yo. but not knowing that they're giving all their vitamins away to you because you're able to get them to react outside of themselves, y'all. Their higher self is, you know, it's really, y'all, in a way, I don't want to, how should I say this, family? It's disappointing if you want to say that, because your higher self wouldn't react, y'all, because your higher self knows that peace resides in you. But the ego, y'all, wants to feel like he's superior. Not because he wants to feel that way, but because we were taught that way, that you must feel like you are the best. You must compete, or you must be the best, y'all. But why? What does that get you, y'all? You know, that's, you're only building up a false sense of, you know, character about you, y'all. You want to be somebody who's going to stay real and be real at the times that you may not, you know, family. And you do this by mastering yourself. You know, you got to give yourself enough credit to feel like you are worthy of everything you're taking on, y'all. Yes, a lot of women will love being around you as well. I'm not telling you to knock these women down, y'all. You're here to help them glow, because they will follow what the light is, y'all. You are the light, y'all. You're not saying it, but you're becoming light. You're becoming lighter. You're becoming somebody with more energy. And you're becoming an inspirational person that just people want to listen to because they see your light, y'all. And they want that. You know, what does this light give you? It gives you a healthy physique avatar, so you live longer. You feel like every time you take a deep breath in and you exhale slowly, y'all, you feel that peace that God has put within you, y'all, because you're not relying on nothing, you know, flesh, drugs, or just, you know, negativity, y'all. Are the three things that kill you the fastest in this realm, y'all. That, you know, you think spellcasting kills you faster? No, because you can say things that won't happen, y'all. But it's about your frequency and about the intentions of what you are doing. So I give y'all, you know, think about it like this, family. You know, say somebody's wishing death upon you, but they live in a reality to where that's all they are getting. So they're trying to, you know, redirect that to you. It's not gonna happen because you may not be on that fleshly side of the world like you. And since they're not vibrating at their highest, y'all, those spells ain't gonna come into fruition, you know, instantly. Because for something to truly manifest, y'all, at your will, not only must you keep constantly speaking it, but you must vibrate high, because that's when your tongue becomes that sword that they fear the most, y'all. Because remember, y'all, everybody's relying on people to give them things, but you're the biggest genie. Because what you say shall it be, y'all. There's a reason why if you call your energy back to you and you're glowing, nobody wants to be around you, or they don't want to look at you eye to eye, because they don't like who they are in the dark, y'all, or they're doing things that they're not proud of. And you're a fucking reminder, or you're like a bomb, and when they look at you, y'all, their spirit or their ego explodes, because now they start treating you with pure positivity, knowing that they don't give themselves that credit, y'all. That's why I say this world is hell. We descended from heaven, but we still have that heaven within us, y'all, because remember, y'all, if we came from heaven, of course we are heavenly beings, so all we gotta do is tap into it. A lot of people don't know about this, but we descended from heaven to hell. We are in hell now, and that's why the devil can't take your light, or he, you know, he's really fucking mad, y'all. You know, all of them are really mad because they live in emotions, so they're trying to put that on you. But you broke free from that, y'all, because your life simply won't allow you to react to emotions anymore, because you rose too high above it, y'all. That's how powerful you are. You're so fucking strong spiritually, y'all, that the emotions that they are giving us, y'all, and trying to feed us, y'all, they can't contain your spirit, because you are rising too high. So in a way, you can say that facade of programming broke the fuck down, because it's not that you believe in it or you don't. You feel too good to care about anything that was once was, because God gave you a feeling that you can't describe, y'all. You know, sober life is really a good way of living, y'all, because you're not relying on nothing or no one. You face your demons head on, and you have that testosterone that gives you the conquer, or the ability to take back what's yours, which is your belief, your energy, and that masculine frame that women can't nudge, y'all. That's why they love being around you, y'all. You know, if you are somebody who smokes or drinks or puts shit in your body that's killing you every day, that's probably why you are not gaining attraction, y'all. It doesn't matter how you look physically, y'all. Energy attracts everything. That's exactly why if you have energy, y'all, people want to be around you. Even if they don't like you, they still want a piece of it, y'all, because it fills up their tank. You know, you're like gasoline to these motherfuckers, or you're actually like ethanol, because it's a higher form of gas, y'all. It's something, you know, that's much faster, that gives you mobile superior speed. You're vibrating so high that they can't track you. That's why they stay the fuck away from you, y'all, because you weren't able to vibrate higher outside of you. You chose to take time to put that work in with yourself, y'all. That's why what you did within or internally, y'all, it shows on the outside. But they don't go inside of themselves, y'all. They're afraid of that darkness, y'all. But you will forever be that way, y'all, if you don't surrender and allow the Most High to show you things and to remind you what the fuck you've been holding back for so long. You know, I'm not gonna make this a long video, y'all, but I want to motivate y'all that when you have the light, y'all, like this or not, people will be inspired by you, whether they say that or they don't, whether they act like they don't fuck with you or they don't, because they're not gonna be able to keep their eye off you. You know, your energy alone is attractive, y'all, because it's just pure. It's energy at its purest form, you know, something that ain't synthetic or modern or something that was, you know, invented, y'all. You are the invention of new energy, y'all, cosmic energy, y'all, because you come from a place that's above this firmament that we are under, right? We are beings who ascended above that, y'all. All we did was descend down here to a physical form to outperform the ones that don't have this energy, y'all, because that's how we change the world, y'all. That's exactly how you change the world, y'all. You don't change it with money. You don't change it with, you know, the ego or you know, let alone your higher self as well, y'all. You need both. That's what's the balance. That's what's duality, you know, because your higher self is going to give you peace, love, and it's going to help you remind yourself that nothing else matters except my purity and my energy, so the reactions don't get you. But your ego helps protect you. It reminds you that you have beliefs and you stand on them, and you're not afraid of nobody because you are a conqueror, you are a king, and you are righteous, you know. But, you know, I remind y'all to go watch this video back again, y'all, if y'all have time, because we out here chilling, you know, in our creation, y'all. You know, we in the bricks with the family. Never be afraid to get on the camera and speak your truth, y'all, because somebody's gonna watch you, and whether they friends, foes, or they just mysterious beings from another world, y'all, they still cannot fathom the glow, because you don't need nothing else, y'all. You have already what the Most High has given you. Now He's telling you to help and aid others, not around Him or with them, but right here. Give it out to the world, y'all, because a lost soul might need this or run into this one day, and if they stick to the end, y'all, I promise you they will become someone that the world will fear or has, you know, because you're not abiding by nobody, y'all. You learn to move alone. All the hard times you've been through, y'all, has taught you how to burn in that fuel or that, you know, that fire, y'all. So you rely on yourself, y'all. You know, you like a challenge now, y'all, because you feel like you are worthy of it, y'all. You don't like to feel like you have been defeated, y'all. And that's why you always stood out from the crowd, y'all, because while the enemy has tried so hard to knock you down or keep you at the bottom, like the crabs, you have rose from that bucket, y'all. And now you are someone that everybody in the ocean literally fears, y'all, because they can't do shit to you, y'all. The only way they could fuck with you, y'all, or to get you to think less of you is for you to do that to yourself, y'all, because literally, y'all, you are the power holder. You have the key, and this world wouldn't be shit without your energy, y'all. So think about this, family. You know, the shit that I say, y'all, is power, but it's truly powerful when you feel this way and you know it's true, because a lot of people will watch this but not get what you're saying. You'll never get it if you don't have energy, y'all. You won't die if you don't, you know, never let your energy go. But this shit, it seems unrealistic to the average being, y'all, because they're stuck battling, you know, things outside of them, yo. When you must surrender and let the shit go, yo. You're here for an experience, yo. You're not here to dwell in things that you latch on. You know, even if you smoke weed, it's not bad, yo. But eventually, it will hinder your, let's just say, ties with people, yo. If you communicate with people or you go around in this world, yo, it's gonna cause you to become more of a shell because you're not gonna really feel good about yourself, and especially knowing that the confidence that you should have organically, y'all. You know, that confidence and that motivation and that drive that you have to want to get up and do something. It's in a way foggy when you are smoking every day or participating in other types of drugs because you're fucking up your receptors in your mind, yo. We have this shit organically, naturally, yo. We already have THC in us, yo. It may not be 99% because we're not a car or we're not bud, yo. We have those properties in us. That's the exact reason why you get high when you smoke the plant. If you didn't have those properties, yo, you wouldn't be able to take in those plants. Or you won't be able to feel that high because that plant or that spirit in the plant is what reacts with your molecular structure. You know, it taps in to the THC strands, or if you want to say, you know, bonds that are in your body. That's why you're able to feel higher because you're high naturally. That's called, you know, or a natural high, y'all. But you fuck that up, yo, when you partake in things that are, you know, synthetic, yo. That's why a lot of people, they like to cloud their judgment of, y'all, because they want to escape from this reality. You can't escape, y'all. We are all living in this hell, but not for the ones like myself, y'all. We found heaven in hell. Now all we gotta do, y'all, is help the others by reminding them, y'all, to get the fuck out, because your reality is what you make it, y'all. Remember that. But I'm gonna end this video right here, family. You know, I hope all is well, and you know, to live forever, y'all, to protect your energy, because once you do that, you will realize how many attacks are being sent your way because they envy the light you carry, not because you did something wrong or you are a bad person, but because they want a lot like you, because they feel like, how the fuck do you have this? You know, we are millionaires, we are owners, we are somebody who has power over others, but we don't have what you have, which is a pure cosmic glow, something that came from you because you responded and chose the Most High. They are crabs in a bucket scrambling for thin air because they can't breathe in your presence, y'all. That's why they get the fuck away from you, because your energy is too light, y'all. What the sun can't do, you do it for and that's why he admires you and allows you to step out with him. But I'll see y'all, family. It's been one. I'll say.